Good morning. So today I will discuss about the process of healing and repair. So healing is the body response to injury in an attempt to restore normal structure and function of the cells or tissues. That means when there is injury, then the body will respond to that injury and try to restore normal structure and function. So this healing process involved two distinct processes. First is the regeneration and second is the repair. Regeneration means when the healing takes place by proliferation of parenchymal cells, and this usually results in complete restoration of the original tissue. You know the parenchymal cells, these are the functional cells of the organs. This will result in complete restoration of the original tissue, that we call it as regeneration. Repair, when healing takes place by proliferation of connective tissue elements resulting in fibrosis and scarring. There will be fibrosis and scar formation, so that is called repair, and this is one of the process of healing. So sometimes both these process takes place simultaneously. They go on simultaneously. Regeneration and repair, they can go on simultaneously. Then first we go to the what is the process of regeneration. You know that some parenchymal cells are short-lived, but while some of the parenchymal cells have a longer lifespan. So depending upon their capacity to divide, the cells of the body can be divided into three groups. You know very well, I have already described it before. These are the labile cells, some are stable cells and some are permanent cells. Labile cells, they multiply throughout life under normal physiologic condition. So examples are this surface epithelial cell of the epidermis, alimentary tract, respiratory tract, urinary tract, vagina, cervix, uterine endometrium. These are the labile cells and they multiply throughout life under normal physiologic condition. Then there are some stable cells. They decrease or lose their ability to proliferate after adolescence, but they can multiply in response to stimuli throughout adult life. If there is stimuli, they can retain their capacity to multiply, but on the normal condition, they lose their ability to proliferate. So the examples are parenchymal cells of liver, pancreas, kidney, adrenal gland, thyroid gland, mesenchymal cells of smooth muscle cell, fibroblasts, vascular endothelium, bone, cartilage cells. These are the stable cells and they can multiply if there is stimulation. Then there are some permanent cells. These cells lose their ability to proliferate around the time of birth. That means they, on stimulus also, they cannot multiply. For examples are, these are the permanent cells, neurons of nervous system, skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle cells. These are the permanent cells. They lose their ability to proliferate around the time of birth. So this regeneration of parenchymal cells, they involve two processes. I also before that, these labile cells which are continuously dividing, they remain in the cell cycle from one mitosis to the next. The stable cells, they are always in the resting phase, but on stimulus they can enter to the cell cycle. And the permanent cells are non-dividing cells which have left the cell cycle and they die after injury. If there is injury, they will die. So the two processes which are involved in the regeneration of parenchymal cells, So first process is the original cell will proliferate from the margin of injury with migration so as to cover the gap. If there is gap due to injury, so from that margin the cell will proliferate to cover the gap. Then this proliferation of migrated cells with subsequent differentiation, they will divide because they enter into the cell cycle, and they will mature so as to constitute the original tissue. So these are the two processes. First, cell will proliferate from the margin of injury. After proliferation, there will be subsequent differentiation and maturation to constitute the original tissue. Now coming to the process of repair. So repair means the replacement of injured tissue by fibrous tissue, and in this case also two processes are involved. That is granulation tissue formation and contraction of wounds. The granulation tissue, what does it mean? That means this term is derived from slightly granular and pink appearance of the tissue. So each granule means, that is histologically, that means proliferation of new small blood vessels which are slightly lifted on the surface by thin covering of fibroblasts and young collagens. So this is the granulation tissue. That means, in other words, we can call it as new small blood vessel covered by fibroblast and young collagen. So this granulation tissue formation that is completed under three phases. First is the phase of inflammation, then phase of clearance, then phase of ingrowth of granulation tissue. So phase of inflammation means if there is trauma, if there is injury, so generally blood clots at that site. So once there is injury, so there will be acute inflammatory response with exudation of plasma. There will be margination of emigration of neutrophils, and there may be some emigration of monocytes within 24 hours. You have already known this. Then coming to phase of clearance, once the neutrophils are activated, emigrated, so they will liberate some proteolytic enzymes, and if there are some dead cells, they will also release some autolytic enzymes, and the phagocytic activity of macrophage, all these will clear up the necrotic tissue, debris and red cells. They will clear the site. So this is called phase of clearance. So once the phase of clearance is completed, then there will be phase of ingrowth of granulation tissue, and this granulation tissue formation consists of two processes, that is angiogenesis, that means formation of new vessels, that is called neovascularization, and that is formation of new blood vessels at the site of injury by proliferation of endothelial cells from the margin of injured blood vessels. So this process of angiogenesis is stimulated with proteolytic destruction of basement membrane, and this angiogenesis takes place under the influence of vascular endothelial growth factor, which is elaborated by mesenchymal cells. Then another factor is platelet derived growth factor. So these vascular endothelial growth factor and platelet derived growth factor, they stimulate the process of angiogenesis, that is formation of new vessel at the site of injury. Then next process is the fibrogenesis. When there is newly formed blood vessels, so they will be present in amorphous ground substance. Then the new fibroblast originate from the fibrocytes and by the mitotic division of fibroblast, which initiate the process of fibrogenesis or fibrosis. So this is all about the repair, granulation tissue formation. Then coming to the contraction of wounds. This contraction starts after 2 to 3 days, and this process is completed by the 14th day. So during this 14-day period, the wound is reduced by approximately 80% of its original size. So this will help in the repair because the area will be less. Contracted wound results in rapid healing because there is a lesser surface area of the injured tissue that has to be replaced. So this is complete the process of healing and repair. So after this I will go to the next chapter, that is hemodynamic derangement or derangement of homeostasis and hemodynamics. Thank you.